Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
To the officers involved in my father's death, when you hold your daughter tight and hug her and tell her how much you love her and she's your little princess, I hope you remember that is everything you took from me.
The emotional words from the daughter of Everard Walker, who was shot and killed by Hartford police. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. She said those words during a vigil tonight. Walker was the first of two men killed by officers within about a week. Both incidents began as mental health calls.
Now tonight, Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot was at the vigil. She spoke with Walker's family, who is remembering him as a humble man who provided for others.
A daughter without her dad, a brother without his younger sibling by his side, and a father who has to bury his child. Everard Walker's family spoke at an emotional vigil Wednesday night, nearly 2 weeks after his death.
Our community has been racked with violence for so many years.
Loved ones of Everard Walker gathered in Hartford Wednesday to remember him.
He was a Rasta who believed in spreading kindness and love.
On February 19th, Walker's family called 211 seeking mental health assistance. Police responded with a mental health worker to his apartment on Capitol Avenue, where they spent nearly an hour trying to speak with him from the hallway. According to a report from the Office of the Inspector General, officers later entered the apartment, and during a struggle, police say Walker pulled out a knife and refused commands to drop it. Investigators say he then appeared ready to stab an officer, and that's when another officer shot Walker several times. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Walker's dad, Austin, says, as a parent, this is one of the worst heartbreaks.
Everybody see life different, and everybody see this story different. And regardless what it is, you have to be in my situation like you lost a child.
Family members say Walker was mourning the loss of his daughter and was coping with other mental health struggles.
When my sister passed away in October after her long battle with brain cancer, it hurt him in a way that changed him forever. He did seek medical treatment. However, once he ran out of medication, he stopped eating and sleeping. He was losing so much weight and just stayed in the house crying. We knew something wasn't right, but we didn't know what to do to help him.
Everard's brother Charles and his mom still have questions about his death.
I know when it's mental health, if he came in and he's refusing help, you typically would leave. I don't understand why there were so many police officers at his door.
Now the family says they want his story to spark awareness about how police handle mental health crisis.
It's been far too long. We're seeing the difference, the way we are treated in our community versus the other community.
Family members say Walker did not deserve to die, and instead of spending more time with him, they have to bury their loved one. In Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Kay, thank you. Earlier today, a protest was held over the two separate police shootings we've been talking about. In about 30 minutes, Fox 61's Alicia Hercules will bring us the latest details, and we'll have the police union's response.
Now, the round of slick conditions could make roads dangerous for drivers.
And that's why we are getting ahead of it with the weather impact alert tonight. Meteorologist Sam Sampiri is here now with the first look at what we can expect. Sam?
Here we go again. What can I say? The winter that seems to never end here. And we keep it going in March. Here we go. Icy conditions. We're on the weather impact alert 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon through at least noon on Friday. Yes, slick roads, school delays on Friday, very possible. And of course, watch for those untreated surfaces, just like since this morning, actually. You know, this morning was kind of spooky with that deep fog. And so this is what we're thinking now, and this is what the latest data is really showing. This is tomorrow night into Friday morning. where we can get up to 1/10 of an inch of ice in inland areas, but it's more important up in the highest elevations in northwestern and northeastern Connecticut. You can get upwards of 1/4 inch of ice. And I've looked at some new data, some raw model data, and it looks even worse, and that's not good. So we have to plan up in those northern hills, maybe even for some power outages as those tree limbs can get way down. So keep an eye on that and stay tuned to the morning team tomorrow morning. 32 Torrington already, 33 Windsor Locks 30, but it's not doing anything. We have mostly clear skies, some high clouds. So overnight, mainly increasing clouds towards tomorrow morning, and temperatures will be down near freezing. But by the time the rain starts, it could start between 9 to 10 o'clock, and we'll keep it going as temperatures rise up for a while before changing over to that sleet and freezing rain tomorrow evening. I'll talk about all that and look ahead into the weekend in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Sam, thank you. And you can stay up to date on the latest forecast 24/7 on Fox 61 Plus, our free streaming app. Download it now on your smart TV. All right, we're following breaking news here at 10:06. Multiple people are in the hospital after a crash. State police say the two-vehicle crash happened on Route 169 in Woodstock just after 8 p.m. 2 people were taken to the hospital by Lifestar. Right now, Route 169 is closed in both directions at Joy Road. We've reached out for more information, and we'll provide it to you on air and online at fox61.com.
And developing tonight, several families are without a home. A fire destroyed a multifamily house in Hartford. Witnesses told Fox 61's Stephen Reels that one of the families had just gotten back from vacation.
While firefighters tell me no one was injured as a result of the fire, 2 people were still taken to the hospital. And one of the people who lived in the home you're about to see told me it was his wife who was in the hospital for potential smoke inhalation. And now neighbors say that Wednesday evening left a traumatic hole in the community.
Shortly after 4 p.m., Hartford fire crews were sent to Jefferson Street, and this section of the Frog Hollow neighborhood was shut down. Firefighters say heavy fire was coming from the second floor of this multi-family home. Everyone inside made it out safely, including one dog who was rescued, and crews quickly got the fire under control. Firefighters say 3 people were checked out for possible smoke inhalation, with 2 of them taken to the hospital. But soon, the question remained, where would these 3 families, 8 adults and 3 children, go from here? For the time being, the American Red Cross is providing assistance. Emotions were high. Over the course of the night, we heard people very upset. One person who lived at the home had an issue with the fact that first responders wouldn't allow them to go back into the home to get things like medicine, and that it had to be the landlord. We have since been told by neighbors she was able to get her medication.
At this time, the cause of the fire remains under investigation. In Hartford, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Well, new tonight, the Senate voted to reject a war powers resolution aimed at ending President Trump's military strikes against Iran. Lawmakers blocked the measure in a 53-47 vote. The resolution would have required congressional approval before any further military action against Iran. The vote comes just days after the president authorized joint U.S. and Israeli strikes, which the administration says are meant to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Similar measures expected to come up for a vote in the House later this week.
And the war in Iran could soon have an impact on people in Connecticut and local businesses. Fox 61's Tim Latow has the latest insight from experts on at what point the economy will take a turn if the conflict doesn't end soon.
A Quinnipiac University international business professor gives the war in Iran a 3-week threshold to end. If it goes any longer, he says there will likely be long-lasting impacts on inflation in both the global economy and here in Connecticut.
No country is, from an economic point of view or manufacturing point of view, independent. We are all interdependent. So whenever there is a problem in the supply chain, we all suffer.
Quinnipiac professor Mohammed Elahi says the war in Iran will have far-reaching impacts if it lasts long enough. He believes inflation and even stagflation, a period of little or no economic growth, are very possible outcomes if the war lasts weeks or months. Shanita Alston has a family of 4 and says she's already very conscious of her spending as a result of high prices.
I'm just going to continue doing what I do, which is, budget, double check my budget, make sure I'm on course, and, just take one day at a time.
The key international shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz is idle amid the conflict. Oil is the most valuable and quantifiable raw material exported from the Middle East. Elahi says the expected shortage of oil and other raw goods will slow and could even stop production at most manufacturers around the world.
They get the input, the raw materials, just exactly when they need it. So if there is a disruption in the supply chain, the whole production process come to a screeching halt.
Lynette Johnson is frustrated with leaders for launching this conflict. She feels tough times could be coming for everyday Americans as a result.
I feel as though the leadership that we're currently under is self-absorbed, not necessarily a president for the people.
Elahi says while global leaders may have carefully examined the geopolitical ramifications of the war, he doesn't think enough consideration was given to the significance of the waterway that's now frozen from fighting.
I don't think that there was much thought to the war, its endgame, and the repercussions that it will have.
Elahi says the best case scenario for the economy is for the war to end in 3 to 4 days, although President Donald Trump has indicated it could last for weeks. In Hamden, Tim Latow, Fox 61.
Stanley Black Decker sent a letter to its New Britain plant employees yesterday outlining its closure timeline. It will come in 5 waves, starting May 4th and ending April 14th of 2027. Most of the employees will be laid off in the first wave. 287 people will be let go in those first 2 weeks of May. The remaining 13 will slowly be let go after that. It's law that a company lets its employees know it's closing 60 days in advance. Stanley Black & Decker is offering those workers other opportunities and support.
A mobile home in Southington was destroyed in a fire this afternoon. Firefighters were called to Cedar Springs Circle around noon and found flames coming from that home. The fire spread toward a nearby house. The homeowner had already exited the home and one person was treated for smoke inhalation. The cause of the fire is under investigation now. Drivers in New Haven should expect traffic disruptions as work continues on the Lower State Street redesign project. City officials say tomorrow there will be alternating one-way traffic on State Street between Chapel and Elm from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on Sunday, State Street between Chapel and Crown will be closed from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. with detours posted. The closures are tied to the street's redesign and nearby housing construction.